my gosh. Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to be with you today. Let me make sure I've got my cameras in all the right places. I was so excited. I posted on Facebook this morning that I was going to do this behind the scenes of how I've created 50K cash months in both of my businesses. And I got so many responses of y'all's being very curious about it, which I'm so excited. I have a bunch of people joining right now. Hi, welcome. Comment if you're here. I'm so excited to help you really and tell you my story of my two businesses, but really help you make yourself some 50K cash months, right? Let's do that all together. So one of the things I love about my job as a business growth and sacred money mentor is like I get to help people in their life mission make tons of money, which equals tons of transformation, which is like my favorite thing in the whole wide world. So, oh my gosh. First of all, I've had a crazy day today. I am here in my Pilates and yoga studio in Berkeley, California, which I'm about to tell you about. And we are reopening after 14 months of being dark. We're reopening on Saturday. There was the most human beings in this space today, besides me, that there's been in this entire time of COVID. Like front desk people, I had like the people fixing up the reformers, and my husband was here doing handyman stuff. My kids were here. It was so wild. So anyways, I'm really glad to be with you all today. I'm so happy. Hello. Hi, Megster. Oh, I'm excited that you're here, Megan. Thank you. I'm so glad you're here. So, oh my gosh. Okay. So first of all, I want you to know where this little share is coming from. So yesterday, I had a really big sale come through. You know who you are if you did it. Yesterday, I got a message from one of my graduates in my program who wanted to work with me again in the mastermind. And she messaged me yesterday that she wanted to pay in full $25,000, pay in full for a 9-month term in the mastermind, which delighted me to no end. It was so exciting. And I was doing my weekly Tuesday money date that I do with myself. So I do this for both my businesses. Every Tuesday, I climb on and I look at my reports. Sometimes I do like my profit first allocations. I do my bank account stuff. I'm just looking at sales. I'm tallying things up. So knowing that I was going to have this like really epic deposit, which happened today, it was very nice deposit into my business coaching bank account. I tallied up my sales and I realized that as of yesterday for April, I had crossed over $56,000 in cash in. And I had done the same thing last month as well. And last month when I've actually had like plenty of months in my business coaching business where I've sold more than 50K. Like I've sold like 60K of sales or even like 80K of sales. And I've done the same thing in my studio business for years. We've been doing 50K in sales. But last month I kind of like declared it. Like I actually said it out loud to myself. Then I said it out loud to a couple of my coaches that like, I am going for a minimum in my coaching business, which is much more profitable, by the way, than my studio business. Just the profit margins are much bigger. I am going for, and I'm calling in like a minimum of 56K. Like that what felt really good last month to have that much cash coming through the business. And I'm just saying it. I'm making a decision. Like this is how it's going to be now. And of course, every month starts anew, right? Every month starts at zero. And so, I didn't know if it was really going to happen or not, but I made that decision. I took a lot of aligned action, and I really did a lot of energy work and money mindset work this month. And so it delighted me to no end when I crossed over that 56K mark yesterday. But I can't say it surprised me because I knew that was going to be my new normal for cash in. And so when that happened yesterday, I was like, I have to tell people about this because I want you all to be able to do this. And certainly I've been experiencing that kind of volume of income in my studio business for probably like 6 years or so. And so I put together a little like behind the scenes for you today of like, how does one do this? So before we go any further, I'm sorry, the lighting is kind of weird on my computer right here. My Instagram lighting is amazing. My other lighting is not so amazing, but we'll see if we can fix that. So first of all, I want to introduce myself to any of you who don't know me. So my name is Kiki Lovelace, and I am a longtime yoga teacher and Pilates teacher. That was like my first entrepreneurial journey. I've been teaching those things since 2001, so 20 years. I opened up my first official business, my brick and mortar, which I'm sitting in right now, which is called Interstellar Pilates and Yoga Studio, in 2011. So we're nearing our 10th birthday. And then I started my second business, my business consulting, my coaching business, in which I help 100K plus coaches, consultants, creatives, wellness business owners to scale to multi 6 or 7 figures. And I started that business about 4 years ago when I was pregnant with my second, Ruby, who's 3.5. And oh my gosh, it's been quite a journey. I won't go into a lot of details, but I will say that the perspective I'm going to give you today is based on both of those businesses, which are very different businesses. My studio business is more of a lower end offer, as all Pilates and yoga studios are, like lower end, in terms of offers. It's anywhere from $30 to, maybe at the most like $1,500. Those are like the majority of the offers. So that's like a volume-based business. In order to make any amount of money, you have to sell a lot of those, right? Versus my coaching business, which is what I would call a value-based business. So I actually don't have a huge volume and I don't have a ton of work. I mean, the amount of hours I spend in my business coaching business, like delivering each week, is probably at this point in my life, like 3 hours a week or something like that. But the value that I can offer my entrepreneur clients is so immense, and I charge based on the value that I can offer them in a very short period of time. So I don't have a huge volume, but I do have that cash coming in, 50K plus, and sometimes my sales are even more. So I can give you a perspective on both of those service-based businesses and hopefully give you a little bit of inspiration for how you can start to go to your next level. And for any of you who are watching who have not yet started your business or who are just at the baby beginning, I know these numbers like seem really big when you've never made, 10K in a month, and like 50K seems crazy. But I want you to know that we all start from zero. Every single one of us, we all start from zero. And like if you have the desire for this and you're here watching this, you are already crystallizing the possibilities. So knowing that you have this desire and really owning that you have this desire is literally half the battle to creating this. I think so many of us have so many hangups about money and about sales and about marketing or whatever it is that we don't even allow ourselves to feel the desire. So I hope that you feel your desire. I'm calling you into your desire if this is indeed what you want for yourself, which is growing your business to 50K plus months or maybe even more, like I'm doing now. So let me get on my notes here because I don't want to leave anything out. Let's see. Behind the scenes, I've been making trainings all day long and leading calls all day long. So hopefully I'll lead you through the correct one. Okay. So first of all, I want to give you a behind the scenes of what I didn't do, what I did not do to grow my two businesses, my studio business and my online coaching business, to these 50K plus cash in months. So number one, I did not spend a crap ton of money on Facebook ads. I want you to know that I've probably, for my Pilates and yoga studio business, I've probably spent a total on advertising in all 10 years that we've been open of $500. We have completely grown this business from organic marketing, from email marketing, from social media marketing, and from just simply what I like to call fancy orchestrated word of mouth, which really means just having a rockin' brand, like a very solid, understandable and enticing message, which I'm going to tell you about in a little bit. But I did not spend any money on ads for that business. For my coaching business, I started spending a little money on ads when I hit like the 23 or 25K mark, which was about like maybe 3 years ago, I want to say. And I finally had the budget for that. I finally felt up for it. I actually had some systems in place at that time where I had some like lead magnets to actually send people to in terms of like what to send them to in terms of an ad. But I really have never spent, more than, in terms of like actual ad spend, I spend at the most like $1,000 a month. I'm not even running any ads right now. I just decided to pause on it, and I was getting most of my sales through my warm market anyway in the last like 6 months or so. So I just decided to pause my ads for my coaching business. But I've really never I've mostly spent like $500 a month, at the most $1,000 a month to create these 50K plus months. Isn't that something? Because I don't know about y'all's, but I thought that scaling your business, I always thought that word scale meant throw a bunch of ad money and like get a lot more volume. And that's not actually been the case for me in either of my businesses. So I hope that's illuminating for some of you. So the other thing, there's a few other things I did not do. I did not post to social media or email my audience every single effing day of my life. So I have, as many of you know who are in my audience, I'm actually quite consistent as a marketer. I actually completely enjoy the process of marketing my two businesses. I'm not as involved nearly as much anymore in marketing my studio business. I've got a whole amazing team, Natalia and Kate and all of y'all who are involved and have been involved in the years. Thank you. You guys are awesome. But I don't really have my hand in that as much anymore. But I do all the marketing for my coaching business from soup to nuts. I have a couple of other, like an assistant, and I do have my Facebook ad strategist, who, when I'm running ads, I work with. But really, I do not post or email every day. So I would say we email both of our lists about twice a week, sometimes more when we're doing a launch, when we're promoting something specific that has a hard start date. But generally, it's about 2 times a week. And then in terms of like social media posts, I mean, I've been doing now maybe 4 or 5 posts a week just on the work days. I turn off my phone, and I actually this is a tip for some of you. I actually delete my apps off my phone every Friday at 6. So I delete my Instagram and my Facebook off the phone. I definitely don't post on Saturday or Sunday. I usually pop on, as you may see, on Mondays, but I don't really work on Mondays. So I just pop on and just do a couple marketing and sales activities, and then I'm done for the day. So generally, you'll see me here Tuesday through Friday. So about 4 or 5 days a week. And but certainly not every single day. And I'm not really obsessive about social media, so I don't like, or my email list. Like, I don't go back and check how many opens there are, like how many comments there are. Like, sometimes I get a lot of comments, sometimes I get 0 comments, and I don't care. I just do it for my own pleasure, for my own like sense of purpose in the world and service in the world. I always feel like giving my audience opportunities to work with me and giving them like programs or offers to work with me is like one of my acts of devotion and service. And I feel the same way about my marketing. Like, my marketing is like one of my spiritual practices. It's one of the ways that I show up, I serve, I add value, and I help people feel good about themselves and empowered that they can do the thing that they really want to do in their lives. But I certainly do not post or email every single day. And I don't teach any of my mentees to do that either. Okay, another thing I did not do, I did not work all day or night or every weekend. So I have like very clear boundaries around work time and then family time, rest time, playtime. And I am not the kind of business owner who has any interest in sacrificing my health and my well-being and my relationships and like my life outside of entrepreneurship for my 2 businesses. I actually have been there, done that. I really did do that in the first like 3 years of studio ownership, where I worked like 80-hour weeks, and I barely had any time for my relationship with my husband, which he totally called me out on. But once I started having kids, that was like off the table for me. I could not be that kind of entrepreneur. So I did not work harder. I did not work more. In fact, now that I have these 2 very successful businesses, I work the least that I've ever worked in my entire life. I have like about 9 hours of scheduled work per week, 9 to 11 hours of like meeting times. The rest of the time that I have childcare and, like allocated for work, it's completely free creative time. I do some marketing. I have conversations with prospects. Of course, I do my delivery too. My team meetings and my coaching calls and stuff. But honestly, most of all those things are scheduled. And what I'm talking about is like the rest of my time is not scheduled. I take walks every single day. I take a restorative yoga class, usually on Wednesdays. And that's all during my work hours. So I want you to know that I didn't do this. I didn't grow this. And you don't have to grow your business by buying into the freaking BS, internalized capitalism that we've all been fed, which is that you have to sacrifice. You have to work harder to get what you want. That's actually a false narrative. It's not true. And I'm here to take a stand for you that you do not have to build your business that way. It's a choice though, and you're going to have to make that choice if you want something different. The one other thing I want to tell you that I did not do is I did not hire a fancy marketing agency or some sort of funnel strategist to ascend to 50K plus cash in months and even more sales per month. I've never spent that much money on anyone. I always spend money on business coaches and business mentors. In fact, right now, in the year that we are in right now, 2021, I've already spent like 60K on business mentors. So I'm not afraid to invest money in the right places, but I don't need someone else to do my marketing for me or somehow communicate what's in my soul and in my heart to my audience. I want direct conversations with my audience, and I want to be able to directly speak what's on my mind, what's in my heart. My life is my content. My content is my life. And so I don't need someone else to write that for me or to do that for me. Although I love having team members, who I can delegate the things that I don't want to do, in terms of my marketing or anything else. But I did not hire someone else essentially to do this. So those are the things I did not do. So I want to tell you what I did do. I have 4 points that I want to talk about today. And let me just see if I have any comments. No comments yet, but I'm so glad you all are here. I can see there's a bunch of you on Instagram and a bunch of you on the Facebook. I'm so glad you're here. Okay, so let's see. And I don't need to comment on my own thing. There we go. Here is what I did. So number 1, I have, for both my businesses, cultivated a very specific niche down audience using my social media platforms and my email mostly. Those are mostly the ways. And of course, I do have, for my coaching business, I have a very active Facebook group. I'll put the link in the comments if any of you are interested in it, of spiritual business owners who really want to have a lot of income and also a lot of impact in the world. And so I have consciously cultivated this very specific audience of people who think like me. I call them edge walkers. It's like people who move between the worlds, kind of on the edge of material world and spiritual world. They want to be in the realm of material, but oftentimes they're empaths and they're more spiritual, and they don't exactly know how to sort of skirt that edge, which is really I feel like my my biggest spiritual gift is I completely know how to move through that edge of material and spirit realms. And so that's the kind of audience that I've cultivated. And, my people are rule breakers. My people are not willing to settle in their lives. They want the dream and nothing else will do, essentially. And my people also really want to do good work in the world, and so I've cultivated this very specific audience using my mostly social media channels, that have fed into my email list or fed into my YouTube subscribers or fed into my Facebook group. And the other thing I want to say to that is that I really, really know my 2 audiences for my studio business and my conscious spiritual entrepreneur business. I know how to speak their language. I speak their language, not my language. I speak their language first and foremost, and I weave their words, their thoughts, their most burning desires into all my messaging, all my offers. And I truly feel like this is part of what has allowed me to ascend in both of these businesses to 50K plus cash in months is I empathize. The reason I know my audience so well is because I am my audience. That's the reason, I'm I'm like a little bit further down the path, but I am my audience. So I just know what's in my heart is going to be on the hearts and minds of others. And I want to say to any of you who are, like a lot of us have a lot of hangups and resistance and sort of what we call like visibility blocks around, showing up with our message and with our brand, which, people get freaked out about the word brand even. And I just want to tell you is like, at a certain point, you just have to decide like, are you going to make it more important what they think, or is it more important to you to live your fucking life purpose? Like, to me, there's no comparison. Is like, now that I've been on this road for, a decade of like actually doing meaningful work in the world and like using my voice and my platforms to leave a legacy that I feel proud of every day when I go to sleep. It's like, I don't really care that some people in my audience get annoyed by me. I just don't even care, because look at all you, y'all are here, and I get to help you who's actually not still scrolling, who's actually like watching, So I think that's been a huge part of how I've grown both my businesses, is like cultivating this specific audience, but also crumbling my visibility blocks and sort of my like ways that I crumple and make myself small. It's like, my life purpose has no room for that. It's like, I don't even have time for that at this point. So I hope that you could say that too. Is like, no, we don't have time for that. You have a purpose and a meaning that is much more important than what will they think. The second thing I want to highlight, and some of you who've been following my feed or maybe on my email newsletter, especially for my coaching business, but even in my studio business, is like, we've been having some fun with our offers in the last like 6 months in particular. So this is my second piece for alls y'alls, is like, you must design irresistible offers to serve your audience's deepest desires and really to take them through an experience of growth. Like for me, I often catch spiritual entrepreneurs in like one of two moments of growth. And I love these two moments of growth. It's like, it's when they are wanting to come out of the altitude of doer and they want to step into the altitude of manager. Like they've been doing all the do's in their business. They're so exhausted. They're so over it. They're starting to be resentful towards their business, their staff, their team, even their customers sometimes. And like, they just know that like, this is not sustainable. Plus they want to make a lot more money. So like, that's one moment. Hey, Laren. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad you're here. I know you love this message. I feel your energy already, and I'm responding to it as I speak. So yes, I serve my people when they're at that moment of going from doer to manager. I also love serving my people when they're ready to flip from manager to leader. That's like a very interesting moment. Leaders don't have a lot of work to do. Like that's the place I'm in. Like I told you, like I work 9 or 10 hours a week for both my businesses total, but I need a lot of space because I am the visionary. I'm the one who gets the ideas about these irresistible offers I'm about to tell you about. Like I'm the one who makes all the difficult decisions. Oftentimes I have to figure out how to move large sums of money out in order to call large sums of money in. And that requires, for me, like an exquisite amount of self-care and alone time. That is like a requirement for me in order to lead and grow both my businesses. And I cannot have clutter on my schedule. I just can't. I can't be running from meeting to meeting and be able to hold the energy of what growth really means for me and for my team, and of course for my clients and for our students at the studio. So that's where I help people. So in terms of my offers, I have developed offers that speak to people at these various stages of their development. I have my 8-week Get Your Business on Its Own 2 Feet little private container. And then I also have my 9-month mastermind, which is like when you're a little further along, like you've created some time leverage there, and now you're ready to call in like a large sum of more money. My people always want to make more money when they work with me, which is so much fun. I also this year developed a new offer, which is really for my like higher level multi-6-figure business owners who want to scale to even like 7 figures. That's my Catalyze 6-month private mentorship. And all of these offers, they serve people along a journey, that you're gonna actually like shepherd them through. So these irresistible offers that I want you to start to like call in, they might be a mix of evergreen offers and new. It's always nice to have like new stuff coming through, which for me is so fun to be in the process of creativity around like, how can I serve people with something I'm super excited about that I know will really help a certain person. So mix of evergreen and new stuff, and also having these offers sort of serve people at various places. And if you catch somebody on the beginning, you can actually take them on like a 2 to 3 year customer journey, client journey that just blows their mind, like that really moves them from one place in their life for their health or for their finances or for their business to this whole other place in my case, or for whatever it is that you do, but you carry them through on this journey. And I will tell you that a lot of my revenue for both of my businesses is recurring revenue. I always have new sales coming through for both my businesses, but a lot of it is recurring revenue. So it is these like repeat students or repeat clients. And it's because we're able to serve them in these very profound ways, in these deeper and deeper ways throughout their journey, either at my studio business or in my business coaching, my consulting business. Hey, Carmen, welcome. Okay, so that's the second thing. The third thing I want to talk about is pricing. Okay, so because of my experience with my low end to maybe you could call it medium priced offers, which is my studio business, like I said, like $30, we've done offers at $30. And then of course, like then we have some like higher, I would call them like medium offers that would be somewhere between 1,000 and 2,000. In my studio business, we've of course had like $2,000 or $3,000 offers, mainly in the form of teacher trainings. But as you can see, like, if you want to create a 50K month and your offers are only $30, you have to sell a lot of those things, so that's why it's called a volume-based business. So that's kind of where I got my start. And then in my coaching business, in terms of pricing, I actually have mostly what I would call like high-end premium, even like ultra premium offers. So, I sometimes start like my 2 or 3 week offers are like between $2,000 and $3,000 for private coaching. Sometimes I'll do like a less expensive offer. I'm running a course right now that is a group course that requires like 2 hours a week of my time. And it was people pay between like $500 and $1,500 to be in it. I have a couple of VIPs in there too, but mostly my coaching business is like higher end. So it's like a $4,000 offer. I used to have a $10,000 or $12,000 offer, which I've now retired. I have a $30,000 offer now, which used to be 25. It used to be 20 before that. My $30,000 offer, and now I have a $60,000 offer for my private coaching. So about pricing, you can grow to the 50K plus months in any of these routes. Even in my studio business, we now have a pay what you can offer, which we just ask our clients what they want to pay, and so some of them pay like $20 a month for unlimited Pilates mat and yoga. Really good deal, by the way. And so, but my support to you, those of you who want to quantum leap your financial growth, it's much easier to do when you're working with high to premium to ultra premium offers. And of course, there's a whole learning curve around that, is like, how do you work with that business model? How do you actually deliver value that is worth $10,000 or $30,000 or $60,000? Like, you have to learn how to do that. And you also are going to have to do a lot of your own inner value work and your worthiness work around that. That there's a lot of spiritual clearing when you start to charge those amounts of money. But to me, that's like where the fun stuff is right there. And of course, it's so much fun to be able to charge somebody $30,000, but then have them get like, I have my clients in my mastermind will sometimes make the return even in the first like 3 months, and then anything else in the next 6 months of the program is just like, icing on the cake. So that's super fun stuff. So in terms of pricing, I think the mistake that I see most service-based entrepreneurs make is that they price based on one of two things. Either what will they think? Like, what will people pay for? They look outside themselves and they do, I'm all for a competitive analysis and everything. I think it can be informative. But if you only base your pricing on what everyone else is charging, you're missing the boat there. So that's one way that people price, just like, what else is everyone charging? Another mistake people make is that they base their prices on fear, really, their fears and their scarcity and lack mindsets, pretty much, essentially. And so anytime you make a business decision based on fear or scarcity or lack, you will not get that good result. I just want you to know, like, your business decisions need to come from an energy that's either neutral or like a fuck yeah. And when it's a neutral and a fuck yeah, you will get much better results than if you are making a business decision that's based on, well, maybe they'll pay this. This sounds good. Like that energy is communicated, whether you know it or not. It is being communicated. So, my support to you is like, base your prices on what you feel most jazzed about showing up for, what you feel most aligned with. I felt super jazzed when we created our pay what you can offer, which we finally rolled out like a month or two in the pandemic last year. We had been working on it for like a year before that. I felt super aligned with that. And I also felt super aligned when I raised my mastermind rate to $30,000, when I created my 6-month coaching offer, which is $10,000 a month. I also felt very excited to show up for those amounts. That felt really good too. So it's about alignment, really, and what's going to work for you, what you feel most excited to call in. And you just need to understand that, like, there are people out there that are just dying to pay you. They're just waiting for you to show up in your spiritual genius and to bring all your skills and knowledge. And any kind of story of like, there's not enough or people don't have enough. It's like, if people really want what you got, they will be very creative in finding the money to invest in it. Trust me. Like, and I know I'm that kind of person. I'm very creative about money when I want something. I will find a way. That's a story for another day. So the last thing I want to share with you of the what did I do's is, of course, about mindset and energy, which is like really my specialty. And what I actually do with my 100K plus spiritual business owners who want to go to multi 6 or 7 figures is we actually almost exclusively do mindset and energy. We barely talk about strategy in my upper level programs, although, of course, I'll answer any question about strategy because I love strategy, but I don't lead from strategy anymore. It's not the way to design a business and a life that you feel freaking jazzed to live. It's not from learning about this or that or the other thing. And the truth is like, strategies work really differently for different business owners. And so I couldn't even tell you what's going to work for you. It's like we have to co-create it together from what you know, from what I know, and then also from what feels most aligned for you, And so anyways, so about mindset and energy, let me give you a little view into this. So this is about your belief systems. It's about your thoughts. It's about the energy that those thoughts carry. It's about the way you interact with the world. It's about the situations you put yourself in. So I want to tell you that in this month, where I was telling you in the beginning of this little talk about how I had made a commitment and sort of a bare minimum of like, I want 56K cash in months coming into my coaching business from here on out. So I had said that to myself at the end of last month. And in the beginning of this month, one of the things that me and my husband did is we rented this beautiful like villa in Sonoma for our spring break. Our kids had off in the first week of April. And we paid more for this villa for 1 week than we pay in like two months of rent for our house. It's like, we paid so much money for this villa. But we very consciously did it. First of all, we needed a break after being like in the same house in Oakland for the last 14 months straight with our kids. But also like I was really interested in putting myself in the kind of space that we're house hunting right now. So that we actually would want to move into, which is totally happening, by the way. I'll tell you more about that in a week or two. But I wanted to put myself in that space. I wanted to feel that energy, and that energy of like having this beautiful land. There was a creek in the back. There was a pool. It was like a much more spacious kitchen than we're used to. That energy was so amazing. I did a ton of money mindset work. I was reading a book that week. I was doing a lot of journaling. And so I was not only doing mindset and abundance belief work this month, but I was also putting myself in the energy of that 56K business owner. And of course, I also am always thinking like, well, if I want to bring that in, like, how could I do that? Like, of my offers and, of my prospects that have been kind of knocking on my door, like, how can I set that up for myself? How can I call that in? So there's some energetics, and then those energetics sort of feed into your actions, and really all the energetics and those actions need to be in the same vibration of this vibration of 56K or 50 months, or some of you guys are looking towards, 70K months or 85K months or 100K or 120K months, whatever it is. So that carries a certain vibration, at least to you, that carries a certain vibration, and you need to feel into and sort of embody that vibration now in order for your business and your life to catch up later, which it will if you stick with it, if you hold that space for it. So, what other ways, besides the Sonoma vacation rental, that was one of the ways I put myself in that energy. Another thing that I always do is I choose my crews very wisely. So I choose mentors always, and I have 2 mentors right now that I'm working with who are already embodying the thing that I want to do. So both my mentors are already 100K plus business owners. One of them is, I think of as more of my spiritual teacher. Another one is like more energetics and strategy. And they're both like so amazing. I love them both. So I chose them. I chose them very consciously. I want to be in their energies, and I don't even ask them that many questions. I swear to God, I like Voxer them like once a week, maybe, when we have our calls 2 or 3 times a month, but it's more just being in their energy that helps me access my own wisdom and make new choices, to get the new results that I want. So choosing your crew wisely. I'm very careful about, kind of like what podcasts I listen to, what books I read, because I will just turn something off. Like if somebody starts spewing stuff from like fear or scarcity, I'm like, oh yeah, I don't need to hear that. I've lived that, so I just don't need any more of that. So I love being around other spiritual entrepreneurs who are like really truly doing their life's work in the world, whatever that may be, and expressing it in the way that feels most vibrant and aligned for them, and who are not shy about their ambitions, like who want to make the money, have the impact, help as many people as possible. So I'm all about choosing my crew very wisely, and I'd suggest you do the same. Another piece of the mindset and energetics is about learning how to spot when you're in what Gay Hendricks calls, he's an author, the upper limit problem. So I talk to my mentees about this a lot, is like when we either set a goal and we actually start to believe that we can maybe like make that goal happen, or we achieve that goal, oftentimes we do a collapse or we do a self-sabotage, or something happens in our life that like knocks us off like the feeling. And so I really teach my people how to spot when they're having one of those moments in their life, which is kind of constantly when you're in the up level, and so this is a lot of what the work that I do with my mentees is we clear shadow. Like we clear shadow all the time, like when they go into their sort of patterns of collapse, when they have like a sort of disaster mindset that's like coming over, or telling them that, oh God, now they have to do it in May. Oh God, I just, like one of my mentees today told me, as of last month, she was like, how can I get past 40K months? This month, she's already done 54K months. And now she's having a whole disaster mind around, how am I going to do it again? In May, I'm starting from zero, like, oh my God. And so I was coaching her on that, on some of the energetics of how can she maintain the energy of these 56K months, and so we came up with a strategy around that. That was really fun. So yeah, like, personally, I don't really hire mentors at this point in my life because I need to. Like, I know kind of like most of the strategies out there for a service-based business. I mean, there's always more to learn with sales and marketing, but it's like not that big of a deal to learn it. Like the reason why, hi Juliet, the reason why I hire mentors is because I desire to have like the highest level of support. If I'm going to serve at my highest level, I require the highest level of support, like period, and like, why would I be stingy with myself at this point in my life around the kind of support that I require, And so that's where I often do my shadow work and my clearing work is with my own mentors. And that's absolutely the role that I play with my own mentees, as they can tell you, some of them are on here right now, is like, we mostly do energy work. We mostly do mindset, belief system work. And I give them, of course, like specific assignments. Sometimes they're journaling assignments or celebration assignments, or, like I remember one time I coached a person to become part of the Nordstrom trunk club so she could like upgrade her wardrobe and have her wardrobe matching the energy of her higher future self. That was an assignment I gave one of my masterminders about 6 months ago. So we have a lot of fun in there. The mindset and the energetics are just where it's at, it's much more fun to build your business in a way that actually, not only serves you, but is actually like delightful to your spirit than it is to build a business from strategy and from this kind of funnel and from this kind of thing. It's like, those are useful tools, but like, they're not that much fun. And the more fun you're having in growing your business, the more attractive your offerings will be to your audience, to your soulmate people. So let's see, what else I want to tell you? The only other piece I want to tell you is like, I have found as I continue to invest in my own mentors, I've gotten really good at like turning a single sentence from one of my coaches into like a 6-figure return or like a multi-6-figure return. And I want to encourage you all to like think that way. It's like, what if it was just that easy? What if somebody could just say something to you, or you could even have a thought or like a new shift energetically in your cell tissue, and like it could give you a 6-figure return. It's like, if you want to create for yourself from where you're sitting 50K plus months, you need to start to have some magical thinking, my friend, and honestly, all of you who are watching this are magical. You already are magical. You know this. You probably just haven't yet fully realized that magic or expressed that magic in your business. And I am here to call you in. It's like, why, if you know that you are limitless, and that that like really like with the backing of spirit and universe, like your purpose in the world could be fully expressed in a way that is so meaningful. It's like, why would you hold yourself back from doing that? You need to bring all of your magic into creating a business and a life like that. You're going to need to bring all your magic to that. So yes, Juliana says yes, exactly. So, right now I have 2 ways that you can work with me, and I'm seriously on the money vibes right now. I'm like calling in the money in my own business, in my own life. And so all of my offerings in the next like 4 to 6 weeks are about money. So here we go. I'm just going to tell you what it is. There's 2 ways you can work with me right now. Next Wednesday, I have a 2.5-hour private masterclass for 12 spiritual business owners. It is called the Money Mindset Cellular Reorg. We're going to reorganize your cell tissue, my friend, around money, around abundance, around your mindset, your belief systems. I have 8 of these have already been claimed by some of my various newer clients. Some of my masterminders have claimed them. So I have 4 spots left. And you can private message me for the application. I'd be more than excited to talk to you about your application. The other offer that I just downloaded from Source yesterday, which like needs to come out now, is the 50K Magnet 2-week private mentorship. And essentially the things I've been talking to you about today, I'm going to break them all down into a document and a little audio training. This 2-week mentorship would include 2 coaching calls with me plus Voxer support for the 2 weeks. I'm going to essentially teach you about pricing, about offers, and about the mindset and the energetics of calling in 50K months. And there's a few of you that are watching this that are just on the verge of this. Like you might be at like 30K right now, or you might even be at 25K, but you know that like 50K is your next number. So this 2-week container would be like the perfect opportunity for you. So I have that investment is 2,555 total steal. I want you to know, especially if you're like me and you can turn one sentence into a 6-figure return. That is a total steal. I'm going to sell 10 of them, and then I will probably up the price. So message me if you want the application for that one too. I won't be able to serve all 10 of you like starting next week. But we'll schedule it together. We'll schedule our 2-week time. If you get in touch with me in the next like day or two, I can probably start you next week. But otherwise, we'll just like parse you out into May. So yes, I hope you found this helpful. I would love to hear what your takeaways were. Write them in the comments, and I will try to circle back to this later. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining me, and I hope you have a great night. Take care, everybody.